In this video, we're going to talk all about text and how to add text, the different ways you can add text, and how to apply different effects, and probably some new ways that you didn't know how you could utilize the text feature. So let's dive in and take a look. So I just opened a blank presentation page just because I wanted a larger screen. So there are several ways that you can add text. If you're on the presentation or on your canvas and you type the letter T, you'll notice that you get text that appear and you can click and make it bigger. So we're just going to go ahead and type Happy Saturday. So now from here, you have some adjustments that you can do up here. You can make it smaller, make it bigger. You can adjust the letter spacing. So we'll increase the letter spacing. Line spacing would work if, let's say you had it like this. Then when we come up here and go to line spacing, we can make it bigger or we can bring it closer together. And then over here, you will have all the different fonts that you can choose from. Now, if you have a Canva Pro account, you will have access to all the fonts, and you'll notice those fonts that are Canva Pro will have this little crown next to it. Also, if you have a Canva Pro account, you can upload your own fonts, and you would do that via the home screen in the branding section. So I could come here and I could open this up and I could upload my own fonts right here. But you do have to have a Canva Pro account. And if you're interested in a 45-day free trial of Canva Pro, there will be a link in the description. So from here, we can choose different fonts that we might want to utilize, whatever is going to suit your design best. So once you have this, you can come up here, you can animate your design, and they have all kinds of different animation features. You'll notice they have the rise, the pan. Down here in the writing, they have the ascend or a burst. They also have a neon, which is like a blinking, and then a stomp. So those are some of the ways you can animate your text. Now, if you wanted, let's say, happy to do something different than Saturday, you would just have to split those out into their own text. So I would have to come here and cut that out and duplicate, and I can just bring it in and put it in there. So that way it's on its own and each one can have its own animation. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to do Control Z and bring it all back. Now let's look at the effects. The effects are actually, there's quite a bit that you can do. You have the none, you have a shadow where you can apply a shadow to it. You can do your offsetting on how far you want it to offset. You can change the offset color. So I just turn this purple. Whoops. You can have a blur, a transparency. So I'm going to bring up the transparency so that way you can see the purple a little bit better. But there are some other really cool things that you can do, and don't be afraid to play around with this. So I'm going to come back into effects. I'm going to take this and I am going to make it a hollow one. Actually, let me duplicate this first. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to press Control or Command D on my keyboard just to duplicate it. Or if you hold down your Alt key, it'll duplicate it that way. Just hold down your Alt, click and drag. So I'm going to delete one of these out. I'm going to come back here to effects. I want to make this one hollow. And then I want to change the color. Let's do a red. So we have a red hollow text. What you can do, and don't be, like I said, don't be afraid to play with this, is I'm going to line this up right here, and I'm going to send this to the back. So now you have an outline text with a black backdrop. So let me move it around. Can you do this? You can do the thickness. So I could, let me actually just undo that. Control Z to undo. Let me get back here. There we go. So let's work with this one. We'll go into effects and it's hollow. And let's make that just a tad bigger. We'll bring this one back up underneath it. And you can offset it. Now to move the wording a little bit, all you got to do is press the keys, arrow keys on your keyboard. Or if you hold shift, it'll do it in different increments. We'll bring it back. So that is another way that you can take and play with the text. Let's go to some other effects. Now you'll notice over here in the texting column in the far left-hand bar that you have different things that you can start off with. So example would be the shine. We'll bring that in. Let me get rid of some stuff here. We'll change my background to a black so you can see that. So what you can do with this is, yes, you can change the wording. So we have the wording changed. And then what you can do is you can change the colors. And you'll notice here how it has this purple box around just this bottom one. That tells you it's in a group. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the change to this one. We'll change that to a pink. And then if you come down here on the left, you'll see change all. You click that and it changes all of them. So those are some more effects that you can utilize. And if you scroll through here, Canva actually has done a great job. Let me go ahead and delete these out. Here is another one. And I'm just going to type my name. And we'll change the color to a red. And so you have a glowing effect on this text. And you'll notice here they use the neon effect in the text. So there's many different ways that you can style your text differently to give it a little bit more pizzazz, to give it something that looks slightly different. And if I wanted to animate this, that gives it kind of a cool effect, and you can change that color. Let's just make it something off the wall. So then what you can do is, let's go ahead and delete that out. You can come up here, you can add a text box. We'll click and drag it. And we'll do some effects. Now, if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to apply some glitchy effects or different things like that, what you can do, if there isn't something over here in the text portion that you want it to be different, like here would be something. Let me get rid of the hello. So we can go in and we can look at the effects that they use. They use the glitch, they offset it, and they use the direction. So don't be afraid to play with those different things. Don't be afraid to, like I showed earlier about, we'll bring it in this one. We can look at the effects that they did. They did an offset. Let's go ahead and change this. We'll go ahead and use that. And we'll change the offset. And you'll notice there's 3 different layers. They use the echo feature. So don't be afraid to play with that. Or you could technically do that on your own if you came here and you duplicate it. Oops. Let's say I want to duplicate this 3 times. We will change this color just to show you some differences. We'll change that one to that color. We'll change that one to this color. Then what you can do, we're going to put it over there. We're going to send it to the back, and you do that by pressing the Control and the left bracket, or you can right click. So here we'll try, and you can click this and do send backward. So now we have this one. You'll notice we have this one, and we have, oh, it's being stinky butt. Okay. So we have them. Let's say I want this one, I want to be behind that one. So we'll put that back. We'll bring this down. I'm going to start moving these around. This gives you a little bit more control on what you actually want to see. And so we'll click here. And let's just say we want to make an effect on this one, and we want to make it hollow. And then we'll bring that right down over that. So it kind of has that shadow type background, because what you can do, let me move these around again, is if you wanted to, you could come back to this back layer and you can drop the transparency down to however your shadow effect that you want to have. And then I can bring this one, and we'll move it over a little bit and bring this right over and give it just a different type of effect. So these are the really, I mean, Canva's really great about having the different ways that you can do that type of text. So I hope you found this helpful. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification, the bell, to get notified when new videos are dropping. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and drop them in the comments.